Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem, Yitbarach, we are now studying a new masechet, Masechet Sanhedrin, Daf Bet Amud Aleph. So the Mishnah right now is going to be going on to talk about the different Sanhedrin, the different Batei Dinim that we would have. So there was three types of Batei Din that was possible. You'd have a Bedin of Shlosha, of 3 people, okay? You would have a Bedin of 23, and you would have the big Sanhedrin of 71. Pay attention how each of the Batei Adinim were always an odd number. Why were they always an odd number? So you never have a situation where it's exactly half-half. Okay? So, says the Mishnah as follows. Dine mamonot bishlosha. When we're dealing with dine mamonot, right? So we want to judge monetary cases. It's enough to have 3 people. Gezelot, if it's about vechavalot, if it's about stealing, if it's about chavalot, physical damages, okay, that's also going to be enough to be judged in a bedin of 3 people. Nezek v'chatzi nezek, if it's property damage, and it's also going to be for the half damage that we see in masechet Bava Kama that talks about the short, the ox that is not going to be a muad, okay, it's going to be shotam that pays only half the damages. Tashlume kefen, or the double damages that a person has to pay. For example, if a person stole, okay, and he now has to pay back he denies what he stole, he's now going to have to pay double. V'tashlume arba'a v'chamisha, or if he's going to have to pay 4 or 5 times the amount, the same thing if he steals a sheep or an ox, that the Torah says that if he denies it, he slaughters it, and then he sells it, so he's going to have to pay 4 or 5 times the amount. Okay, and those cases are also enough to be judged with 3 people. Ha'ones ve'amfateh, if a person, Hashem Yishmor, rapes a girl, or a mifateh, or he seduces her, ve'amotzi shem ra, or he takes a bad name out on her, meaning he claims that she's not a virgin when he married her as a virgin, and that she cheated on him while she was still arusa. In those cases, it's enough to be with 3. Bishlosha. Divrei Rabbi Meir, these are the words of Rabbi Meir. Chachamim says, Motzi Shem Ra be-23 mipnei sheyesh bo dinei nefashot. He says, Motzi Shem Ra, you need to have 23. Why? Because there's Motzi Shem Ra, if she's actually found to have cheated like this when she was after Kiddushin, before the Nisu'in. Okay? So while she was engaged of back then, not engaged of today. She was engaged and then she cheated in between. So since the punishment for such a thing would be death, so therefore you need 23 because you can't judge dinei nefashot with 3. Makot, if it's going to be the 39 lashes, okay, bishlosha, it's going to be enough to have 3 people. Mishum Rabbi Ishmael Amru be-23. Rabbi Ishmael says that in the name of Rabbi Ishmael they would say that it's enough that you need 23 people, the 23 judges to be able to judge malkot. Ibu hachodesh, if you're going to make the month a 30-day month or a 29-day month, right? Meaning in Masechet Rosh Hashanah we learn about the cycle of the moon. We know how long is going to be Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh can be either after 29 days or after 30 days. And depending on when it's going to be, that's going to be called Chodesh Ibul. If it's going to be a full month, meaning it's going to be a full 30 days and then the following day is going to be Rosh Chodesh. Or if it's going to be Chodesh Chaser, which is 29 days, and then the following day, meaning day 30, is going to be Rosh Chodesh. That is able to be judged with 3. Ibu Hashana, if we're going to make a leap year, okay, a leap year is an extra month of Adar for us. Bishlosha, it's enough that you're able to do it with 3 people. Divrei Rabbi Meir, these are the words of Rabbi Meir. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says, Bishlosha, you need to have Bishlosha matchilin, uvachamisha nos'in v'notnin, v'gomrin b'shiv'a. So you start with 3, okay, then you go to 5, they start dealing with it. Is going to be the right thing, the wrong thing? and then the actual psak din, the actual final verdict is going to be with 7. V'im gamru bishlosha me'uberet. And if they finish their whole gzal din with 3, it's going to be enough. Smichat zekenim v'arifat egla bishlosha. So there's a concept of egla arufa. What's egla arufa? Egla arufa is if there was a dead body found in between two cities. Okay? There was a dead body found in between two cities, and we weren't sure which city he's coming from. What do we do? What's the halacha? The halacha says that you have to bring the zekenim of both cities. Okay? You bring the zekenim of both cities, and they each have to say, we weren't responsible. We bring a young calf and we chop it from the back of the neck, and that's sort of going to be their kapara. The midrash goes on and says that that the punishment for this eventually is going to be that that after they chop the neck, what's going to happen? There is going to be worms that come out from the dead cow, and it's going to go straight to the murderer, and it's going to kill the murderer. So this is like more on the Kabbalistic side of things, but this is the egla arufa. So what's smichat zekenim? Okay, the first wide line. Smichat zekenim, when the zekenim would have to do the smicha, they would have to lean on top of the animal. Varifat egla, and to chop off the neck of the animal. Bishlosha, you need 3 people to do it. Divrei Rabbi Shimon says it's enough for 3. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, b'chamisha, no, we need 5. Chalitza v'ham mi'unin. Chalitza is if a woman is if there's a couple that dies without children. Okay? Now, there's a mitzvah in the Torah to do yibum. What is yibum? That the brother of the dead husband, he's going to marry this woman, he's going to have a child with her, and the first child is going to be called on the name of the dead brother. That's what the Torah tells us. That's the mitzvah of yibum. There's another possibility that if the brother doesn't want to marry the woman, he can do what's called chalitza. No, she has no say in the matter.
He does chalitza?
He's the one that does chalitza. Okay? So again, he's the one that chooses to do chalitza, and she's the one that does the action of chalitza. Okay? What is chalitza? Chalitza is basically where he refuses to do it. So they go in front of a bedin, and he says, there's a whole process, okay? And he basically says that he doesn't want to do this ibum. And it happens. Nowadays they don't, the Batei Dinim don't like to do ibum, okay? But they prefer to do chalitza. And it's a whole ceremony that they go through. He says that he doesn't want. What does she have to do? She has to take off his shoe. Now it's a special shoe that they have specifically made for this purpose. Okay, she takes up, and she has to spit in front of the shoe, and then everyone responds bet chalutzanad, bet chalutzanad. But it's a process that it's a kind of like a divorce, but it's a very specific case where the husband, her original husband, died, and the brother doesn't want to remarry her. That's chalitza. Mi'un is if a girl gets married off at the age of 3. Starting from the age of 3 till the age of 12, the father can marry off the girl against her will. Okay? But when she becomes of age, okay, she has the concept of mi'un. She can refuse this marriage, and then she goes free. Okay? So chalitza mi'un is going to be with shlosha. Neta revai is the if he wants to make the it's called the tree after the 3 years of Orah. In the 4th year, okay, it's called neta revai, the 4th year of the planting. Okay, so that umaaser sheni or maaser sheni. Maaser sheni is every 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th years of the maaser of the Shemitah cycle. The 1st, 2nd, and the 4th and 5th, meaning 1, 2 is going to be maaser sheni. 3 is going to be maaser ani. 4, 5 once again is going to be maaser sheni, and 6 is going to be maaser ani. So if it's
And 7 is strong.
so he said, Uneta revai, umaaser sheni she'en damav yiduin, or if you have maaser sheni, what's maaser sheni? We explained the years, and we're not sure about its exact value. So when you come to redeem it, normally what's maaser sheni? Maaser sheni is what you have to take, it's your fruit, it's an extra 10% on top of the turma and the maaser. Okay? You take this 10% and you yourself, you benefit from it in Yerushalayim. Okay. Now, not everyone has the possibility to take the fruits and bring it to Yerushalayim. Why? Because there was no fridges. The journey took long. So many times it can even spoil on the way. So what would they do? They would redeem the value of this plus a fifth as all hekdesh, and they would take this money and they would benefit from it in Yerushalayim. Okay. So when you come to redeem it, you have to know the value of it because you have to know how much it is, right? But if they didn't know the value of it, that's exactly what he's saying. We're not exactly sure of the value of it. Bishlosha, it's enough when you evaluate it in front of a bedin of 3, you allow them to give the value. Ha-hekdeshot, if it's going to be hekdesh that we're coming to redeem, it's enough to do it in front of 3. Ha-arachin ha-metaltelim bishlosha. Okay? Arachin is if a person gives the value of a certain thing to the Bet HaMikdash, and the Gemara is going to explain this in detail. Rashi says, okay, so it's if a person offers to give something to the Bet HaMikdash, this item now becomes hekdesh. So it's enough to redeem it with 3. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, echad mehem kohen. One of those 3 people have to be a kohen. Hakarkaot. If it's going to be the value of lands, you need to have 9 v'kohen, okay, and a kohen, which means a total of 10 people. V'adam kayotze bahem, and if it's going to be to redeem the person, right? If a person offers his own value to the Bet HaMikdash, it's going to be the same thing where he's going to need 9 people plus a kohen. Dinei nefashot be-23. If it's going to be life and death sentences, you need 20. You need 23. Harova v'hanirva be-23. Again, these are basically cases of bestiality, where if a person Hashem Yishmo was with an animal, or Hashem Yishmo if an animal was with a woman. So in those cases, you need also 23 people, 23 judges to be able to judge those cases. Why? Shenemar ve'aragta et ha'isha ve'et ha'behema. Because the Gemara says, the Torah says that you kill the woman and the animal, which means that it's again life and death cases. Ve'omer ve'et ha'behema ta'arogu, and it says you also have to kill the animal. Okay. Shor haniskal be-23. Shor haniskal is the shor that gores a person, so we need to kill the animal. This is also with 23. Shneimar hashor yisakel v'gam be'alav yumat. You kill the ox, and then you also kill the owner. Now we know that it's obviously you don't actually kill the owner, but it's about giving the kapara for the animal. Kimitat ha'ba'alim kach mitat hashor. Okay, the same way that you kill the owner is the way you're going to kill the animal. So Rashi explains. He says, "Kimitat be'alim im hayanidon bechiyuv mitat bedin debai 23 kach mitat ashor dehai be'alav yumat kara yitera lehar drasha velon denitchayev ketala." So he says, the Rashi says, not that the actual person gets killed. We're not going to kill a person. We're not going to give a person the death sentence for his animal killing, right? So why did the Torah have to say v'gam be'alav yumat, that also the owner is going to be killed? Okay, it makes sense to say that you kill the ox for goring a person, but why are you going to kill the person? The person. So so Rashi explained to us that it's coming to teach us a special drasha that it's going to be that the animal needs 23 to judge it in order to kill it. Okay. Haze'ev v'ha'ari v'hadov v'hanamer v'habardelas. If it's a wolf, a lion, a bear, a leopard, bardelas is, I think it's a weasel, v'hanachash. Huh?
Une hyène.
Hyena. Okay, Bardelas they say is a hyena. Okay, unfortunately, or if a person keeps these as a pet and they kill, right? You go to Dubai, you see everyone sees those videos of these guys. They're riding in the car. They're riding in the car with a cheetah sitting next to him. Whatever. Yeah, you see these things.
It's a little pet. Taking him on grocery shopping.
Mitatan be-23. You need 23 to kill them. Okay, if they kill a person. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Kol hakodem leogan zacha. If you hurry up and you kill these animals, zoche. Why? Because you're saving it. You're saving people. Because these animals are wild animals, and you never, they're animals at the end.
We need 23 to kill the animal.
Yeah.
What about the owner?
No, the owner, we said, it's a monetary
Why
damage.
do we need 23 to kill the animal?
Because of this drasha that we saw before. Okay?
For when it's life sentence, then the death sentence, then
even for an animal.
Even for an animal?
Yes.
So that's what we said. We said there was a special drasha by the show to tell us that we need 23 to be able to do it. Okay? Rabbi Akiva Omer, mitatan be-23. Rabbi Akiva says, no, you need to have 23 in order to kill it. אין דנין לא את השבט ולא את הנביא השקר ולא את הכהן הגדול, אלא על פי בית דין של 71. We cannot judge an entire tribe. We cannot judge, okay? We cannot, similar to what happened with Pilegesh Begiva, right? Where basically they made war against the entire tribe of Binyamin. So if the majority of the tribe does avodah zarah, now they're chayav mitah, you want to judge the tribe, so this needs to be done in front of a bedin of 71, the big bedin, okay? Or navi sheker, a false prophet, or kohen gadol, okay? You have to have a bedin of 71 to judge these. ואין מוציאים למלחמת הרשות אלא על פי בדין של 71. You cannot also go out to מלחמת רשות. There was two milchamot. It was milchemet mitzvah, which is against the 7 nations of Eretz Israel, which that we had a mitzvah directly from the Torah to go and to kill them. Okay, and then there was milchemet reshut, that they would go for war to conquer more land, to get more money, whatever it was. They would need also a bedin of 71 to approve going out to war in this thing. En mosifin al ha'ir ve'al ha'azarot. We cannot add on to the city of Yerushalayim, okay, or onto the azarot of the Beit HaMikdash, ela al pi bedin shel 71, unless it's with the bedin of 71. En osin sanhedriot leshvatin. We don't make the sanhedrin for the shvatim, ela al pi bedin shel 71, meaning the bedin of 23 is a bedin that is appointed by the bedin of 71.
What's Sanhedriot?
Sanhedriot is the smaller bedin, which is the bedin of 23. Okay, so that is decided by the bedin of shivim ve'echad. En osin ira nidachat. We don't make an ira nidachat ela al pi bedin shel shivim ve'echad. Unless it's again from the bedin of 71. En osin ira nidachat basefer velo shalosh. Okay. ולא 3, אבל עושים 1 או 2. We cannot Basapar, Sapar is a border city. Okay, it's a border city of on the border, and we don't want to cause iranidachat on the border city. Why not? Because it's going to be very dangerous. So he says over here, in osin velo shalosh, aval osin achat o shnayim. So he says, Rashi says, okay, and the Gemara is going to explain why we don't do such a thing for just because they're a border city. Iranidachat, you have to completely destroy the city.
What does that mean? I don't get it. What's the reason?
Ir Hanidachat is the city that the majority of a Jewish city that the majority of the inhabitants did avodah zarah. So the halacha is that you have to destroy the entire city
and kill them.
The ones that did avodah zarah, the ones that didn't do avodah zarah, you don't have to kill them, but all their property gets lost.
Jews, You have to kill them.
Of course, if a Jew does avodah zarah, it's a death sentence.
Huh?
It's
So
one
they
of
get a chance for tshuva?
it's mitat bedin. If a person does those things, okay.
On est tous cuits alors. Ça, c'est chaud.
Why?
Une tonne de trucs qui sont assimilables à Vodazara de nos jours.
Well, but it's not actually avodah zarah, and we don't have a bedin of 71 to be able to judge these things. Okay? Sanhedrin gedolah hayta shel 71, uktana shel 23. The big Sanhedrin was 71, the small one was 23. Minayin gedolah shehi shel 71. From where do we know that the big Sanhedrin is 71? Shenemar esfali 70 ish miziknei Israel u'Moshe al gabehen. So we say HaKadosh Baruch Hu told them gather 70, and we know Moshe was on top of them, so that's 71. Rabbi Yehuda Omer 70, it's only of 70, not of 71. ומנין לקטנה שהיא של 23 נאמר ושפטו את העדה והצילו העדה, עדה שופטת ועדה מצלת. הרי כאן 20. So we know עדה, it's how much is עדה? 10 people. When we want to do minyan, okay, there's a drasha that we're not going to go into now, but there's a drasha that says Eda is going to be 10 people. So over here we see that it says 2 times Eda, which means that there's 20. Okay, Hare kan 20. Uminayin Eda shehi asara, shneimar. How do we know that Eda means 10? Shneimar ad matay la Eda hara'a azot. When it's talking about the 10 spies that spoke bad about Yerushalayim, there was 12 about Israel. There was 12, but only 10 spoke bad. It says ad matay la Eda. And how many were they? They were 10. So it says over there, that's it, every time it says Eda, it's 10. Yet Yoshua v'Kalev, that we take out Yoshua and Kalev from the 12, that's 10. From where do we know that you have to add another 3 to the 20? Mimashma shneimar lo tiyeh acharei rabim lera'ot shomea ani she'eye imahem letova. אם כן, למה נאמר אחרי רבים להטעות? לא הטעייתך לטובה, הטעייתך לטובה על פי 1, הטעייתך לרעה על פי 2, ואין בדין שקול מוסיפין עליהם עוד 1. הרי כאן 23. כמה יהיה? Okay? So he says that how do we know we have to add on another 3? Because over here we're not going to have only one that's going to tip this scale. 2 is the one that can tip the scale for bad, and Be'ezrat Hashem we're going to explain all this. 2 is going to tip the scale for bad, and then 3 is what's going to finally balance everything out. That's why we have to add on another 3.
So it's going to be 11 against 11.
No, it's going to be 10 and 10. That's
10.
20.
Yeah.
And then 1, we said 1 is not enough to tip the balance either way. 2 is only for the bad because it's going to be even again. So we need a third one that's going to be total of 23.
So they could be 13 against 12 to no?
Yeah,
11,
you can still
11, 12
They
against
have 12 against 11.
12 against 11.
Okay? וכמה יהיה בעיר ותהיה ראויה לסנהדרין? How many people do you need in a city for it to be fit for Sanhedrin? 120, you need to have 120 people in the city. רבי נחמיה אומר 230, you need to have 230 כנגד שרי עשרות in ratio to the Sarei Asarot, the judges of 10. Meaning when Moshe Rabbeinu appointed the judges, there was 1 judge per 10 people. So if you're going to say that there's 23 people inside the Sanhedrin, it's going to be corresponding to each person is going to be corresponding to 10.
230.
So that's going to be 230. 30, that's what he says over there.
Amen.